What if Deku was trained by Batman Part 2? So basically, we're gonna leave off with basically your boy Deku getting trained by Batman. We're gonna have like a big ass time skip for 10 years. And Deku's gonna be learning basically every single martial art that Batman knows. He's gonna train with different heroes. And the beauty of this too is he's gonna be one of the very few people that he knows Batman stuff and stuff, right? But he's so good with it that he has his own style. So they're gonna be like, "Did you train Batman or did Batman train you?" Like they're gonna be kind of one of those type things. So everyone's just gonna look at this dude and be like, "Dog, I think he might be better." And like Deku has helped. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a DC fanatic. Like I've read a lot of the comics and stuff. Okay, looked up videos about the comics, but I've read a lot of the comics. I got a lot of information, so I'm not gonna be able to go like too in depth. But hear me out. In this version of DC, though, Deku literally made it to the point where like he was like, "Bro, I want you to kill Joker, right?" And he says his reason and stuff like that, and he's like, "Okay, you don't have to kill him. You could just immobilize him." And he's like, "Wait, what?" No. I mean, like, literally, think about it, right? You can literally just immobilize him. He is still alive. He is still breathing. Immobilize him. Or you can even just make it to where he's brain dead. Or make it to where there's like a solemn prism. Make some type of device to where it's self-sustaining so he doesn't need to eat. And just enclose him in there. He can't hurt no one. Y'all can't play the song dance game that y'all like to play so much for the simple fact that he's not around. The whole point of Joker is to try to get you to kill him, right? So what if you re-engineer the fear toxin and have a heaven toxin or like a joy toxin? So with that being said, you'd be able to make him experience the greatest thing he won infinitely over and over again, blah blah blah. Or like basically, long story short, he cures the Joker, right? So that dude's taken care of, right? Then we also, and these are going to be more like comic book related individuals, if that makes any sense. Like Flash, he's literally one of the strongest people. Like, come on. He could literally go around the earth in like nanoseconds, like, bro. And so, a lot of the villains over there wouldn't be really an issue, and Deku would just like tell him like, "Hey, bro, just don't do stupid stuff." Like he basically gets stuff organized in such a fashion that it's almost not DC anymore, and all they got to really worry about is like low tier villains. Deku finally does meet Nightwing, which I'd say he probably would have met him throughout like the 10 years, but like let's say he doesn't, it won't even make a difference. And then he's doing his thing or whatever, and he's like, "Nightwing? Oh wow, it's nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you." And he's like, "Midoriya," and he's like, "Nice to meet you. I heard you're better than me back in my days." He said, "Better than you?" Nah, I wouldn't say all. I think he would be Harding though, because the way Deku was in Kenning was like kind of bitch boy made, right? So like, I think one, he's got a raw dog experience of actually being out there, and on top of like, cause like he's reincarnated, he's also been training with Batman for 10 plus years. So I think he won't be like too pushover. He's like, no, I'm better than both of you. I already had the capabilities, but I was limited by the world that I was in. My physical capabilities has far surpassed most of my peers and my elders. Also, my intellect and ability to analyze is far superior to the most. I am getting every bit of knowledge that I can possibly manage up. And he's like, "Oh, really? Now you think you can take me on in a fight? To be fair, if you said you want to fight, the fight would have been over with. Like the second you accept the fight's over with." He's like, "Oh, really now? So you're telling me in this random alley or like on this random rooftop out of all the things you could have did, you somehow got something premeditated right where I'm standing at. And he's like, Deku just chuckles a little bit. And he's like, okay, well, if that's the case, how about I do a little this? And so he starts like, doing a whole bunch of flips and stuff. He's like, now, he jumps up on top of a pole. Now you tell me, because he's like up top real high, bro. And he's like, you tell me. There's no way you would have anticipated all these random moments and me to be right here. And you're telling me you got something planned. And then Deku just looks at him like Batman be looking at people and just be like, do you accept? Do you want to fight or not? Like, he's like, He's looking around. I'll stand where you're standing. And he's like, okay, very well. And then as he like lands down, Deku just kind of glides out of the way ever so slightly. Like, I'll accept your fight now. And he's like, very well then. And then Deku takes up a fighting stance. Ladies first. He said, oh, thank you. And then Nightwing swings, and then immediately he's binded. He's tied up and everything. And he's like, what? He's like, I told you the second you accept, you would have lost. And then he pulls out like a knife or a gun or whatever, and you feel like, bang. And it's like a Joker like kind of gun. He's like, bang, you're dead. He's like, no way you anticipated that far ahead. And he's like, what are you talking about? You're telling me you anticipated me wanting your spot? He's like, no, not really. It was just a lucky guess. He's like, no, ain't no way. And like, he's going on and on about this too, bro. He's like, bro, how? And Deku just says it's simple. Anytime you fight or anytime you do something, you have a high level of confidence to you due to you being able to toe-to-toe with the best at an early age. Also, you being proficient in your older years. So you would want to flex a little bit just to show out, You don't want your dad here. Batman's not there, so it's just kind of dumb talking. You don't want your dad, to forget about little you. And then Deku's just going on and on and on about it. And then you're going to flex a little bit. You're going to take high ground, because that would be a show of your physical powers. And then you're going to try to mix it up and aim for a met. And he's like, wait, but that doesn't explain while he's still tied up. That doesn't explain how you were able to preset this down. He said, who said anything about presetting it down? I could have just pulled it out. But no, realistically, there's only so many places you go. And like Deku just briefly says it to him. He just like literally just says like this dude's normal pattern. And he's like, wait, but we only met 3 times. And he's like, Deku's like, yeah, I know. But y'all don't have quirks. Oh, I happen to die hard. Y'all don't have superpowers. So, y'all have to have some type of habit, some type of system being just straight human. And then Nightwing is like, kid, you are impressive. So after that happens, pretty much, they're just like, alright. They talk, they hang out, they do a couple of missions. Different people meet different people. Nothing too crazy. Then we're gonna have another time skip to where your boy Deku is like in his early 20s and like Batman age is kind of fading for real. You know where this is going. Nightwing was going to take the mantle. This is where things take a turn for the worse, right? There's Apocalypse. And if any of y'all know about the Dark Verses, it's something similar to that, but different. I have no logistic logic behind this. It's just plot because I said so. So basically, there's like a portal that opens up. And there's like dark entities here. And everyone's like, what in the hell? And everyone's like Cold Red, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash. All these niggas are pulling up with the swiftness. Flash is first. And so what ended up happening is Deku sees Bakugo. He's like, what? He sees Uraraka and he's lost. He's like, Kachan? Uraraka? And these are like different versions all together, bro. And they're just like, Deku. And he's like, oh, great heaven. Because he would have pulled down his mask and be like, hey guys, and then they would have pounced, bro. And like they're amped beyond measure, okay? And so Deku's confused. He's like bobbing and weaving with mad proficiency, of course, or whatever. And he's like, wait, guys, what are y'all doing? He's like, it was your fault. He's like, goom, goom, goom. Bakugo's throwing out explosions, and his explosions are amplified in such a way that he's able to produce explosions all over his body instead of just on his hands. So with that being said, becomes a real good fight. And, you know, Flash is like, oh, I gotta help. But no. Todoroki, glacier of ice in nanoseconds, bro. Fast as fuck. And then he grabs some fire, bro, and just punches right through the Flash. Flash is out. And Todoroki's like, I took care of one of them. And then the whole Justice League and basically Earth's defenders are just taken out one by one. Batman is like, what is going on here? And everyone's like really confused, bro. So what ended up happening, right, is everyone eventually died in this battle, and it was just Deku by him lonesome, bro. And he started having like low-key PTSD because when he got into the fight, according to like the time of upload and when the manga is at right now, Bakugo's dead. He's seen a lot of people damaged. He has a lot of PTSD right now. He's like, no, not again. Not again. And he wants to power up to one for all, but he can't. So he's just like, he calms his mind down. He has all like the memories and stuff of the training. Come on, Deku or Izuku. You have to control yourself. You need to breathe. You tend to do this. And from what you told me, you seem to use your powers usefully, but once you got powers, you just became like everyone else. You need to keep your intelligence, analyze the situation, play off the weakness. And then Deku breathe in and breathe out. He said, play off the weakness. And he starts walking up to Bakugo, because he was fighting all of them. And yes, he's battle damaged. He walks up to Bakugo and simply says, he looks at him with like the cockiest smile he could put on. I can beat you without even using one for all. I don't even need a quirk to beat a loser like you. Bakugo gets furiated. What did you say, you damn nerd? As he like charges at him. And then Deku's like, huh, that worked. And then he's like, well, in this world, it's a little different. As he like grabs like a knife and just goes straight for the jugular. Then he grabs it, switches the handle, goes straight for the throat. Well, throat, jugular, same thing. He cuts him twice, damn it. Bakugo's out, and before Uraraka, she pulls up behind him. She's about to touch him. Deku immediately shoots off her fingers. Well, no, I lied. Red Hood would do this for him. Pew, pew, pew. And he's like, thank you. And then he immediately goes in to hug Uraraka and just... And then, as he's doing this, he sees Ida. He sees Ida pops up, bro. Boom, blasting him. And then, all he does, pulls out a cryo grenade, throws it up, waits for Ida, and boom. He's frozen solid. And then he proceeds to start beating her maliciously. Meek, 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 meek it. And then, after he defeats those, there's only one person left, Todoroki. And this dude is different, bro. He's got purple flames and his ice is black. And he's like, you will pay for what you did to us. And Deku's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know one thing. As he pulls out a katana. No, as he pulls out like a lightsaber-like thing, he grabs the handle and just chucks it at Todoroki. Todoroki puts up a mountain of ice and then puts flames around it to cover it. And the Deku's like, that's what I thought you would do. It releases a toxic gas or a toxic chemical that enables movement. And then as as Deku walks up to Todoroki and he's like, I'll name this day the bloodiest night. And then Red Hood gives Deku a gun. He points it to Bakugo. Bakugo, Todoroki and just says, "Goodbye, buddy." 3 years later, Deku is basically doing surveillance around Gotham and almost the whole world in retrospect, but not as bad because the elders did die, but the next generation is in prime condition. And in retrospect, Deku basically becomes the Batman of the DC for this very brief period of time, and he's doing what he needs to do. And this is, a few years later or whatever. Deku's teaching Batman's kid how to do what he needed to do. Also explaining to Superboy how to use Superman's power. Every generation is getting taught by Deku to the highest degree and making sure they know how to utilize their powers and how to utilize everything they need to do. And he's like, all right. And Red Hood would probably be like an old man at this point, because and he would probably be a pretty old man. And he's like, well, I didn't think I was gonna be the last one to survive this. Red Hood would be talking about some of the good old days, and this and that, as he's basically passing away, as you say. It's like his last little homage, if that makes any sense. And Deku is just like, damn. It's kind of crazy. I really didn't think all this would happen. As he's doing everything on his computer, he's pretty much doing stuff, and then he slowly starts to creep into elderly age, and he's just like, well, this is as years are passing, whatever. He doesn't have no offspring or whatever. He's gonna let this stay in the family, and he's just like, all right. He looks around and looks at all the cities one more time. He talks to everyone, giving them a parting gift and stuff like that. And he just sits on top of a roof, and he's like, well, I think I've done it. I successfully rebuild everything back to the way it was when I came. No. Better. Alright, I had to think here for a second, but basically I was going to have him dying here, but I have a better way of him dying. So what ended up happening is more time passed and everyone has fully lived into the role. Batman's kid is fulfilled in the role with Harley. Superman's kid, Wonder Woman's offspring could be the same. It doesn't matter. Everyone has a kid, respectfully. And with that being said, this Deku is damn near in his hundreds, bro. Like, he is old as hell. He's just like, wow. He's like, damn. Maybe he was right. And then, as Deku's lying down, he's like, I wonder where will I go? Will I go back to wherever I came from? Where did I come from? It's been so long that he's literally forgot, because since day one he was putting in work. And he's thinking about all the friends he made, all the memories. And as everyone's crying and like, no, master, sensei, please don't go, please don't leave us. And he's like, they're their little ones. And this is like his master's kids, bro. Like, grandpa didn't type, bro. He's like, come on, little ones. And he's like, listen, y'all did pretty good. Y'all did trading. I know y'all founding father type B would be proud, as he looks at everyone and sees the remnants. Flash, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all these other unique individuals. And he's like, yeah, they'll be proud. As he basically slowly drifts off, everything goes to black, and he's released from his core. Then as he floats down, it doesn't matter, but he's floating, damn it. All he hears is, you did good, kid. And then he looks around and he's like, thank you, Batman. And he's like, yeah, you may be thinking this is what the afterlife is like. It is and it isn't. And then all he hears is a pre-recorded message. He's like, wait, what? Yeah, I don't know when you're gonna be seeing this, Izuku or Doria, but after doing some extensive research, I came to the conclusion that when you pass away, you're gonna be transported right back into your world. I don't know when or what point in time, or hell, if it's even going to be the same world that you left, or if it's going to be a different timeline altogether. But I have gained this knowledge. But I will be having to deceive you, and I do apologize for this in advance. Due to some factors, I want you to train and utilize your capabilities to the max under the pretenses that you will not be getting a second chance at life, even though you're getting like a third chance here, technically speaking. Hopefully, you did what I asked and you took care of everything if we do pass in this given contest. I would rather not think about that. And then Superman will pop in. He's like, wait, are we making a message? And he's like, Clark, get away. This is for Zuko. He's like, no, I want to get in this. Hey, yo, hey, man. What is this? And then, like, they would have that whole banter. And he's like, okay, well, make sure you teach my kids how to be this, and that. And then the Wonder Woman. And then, like, everyone's just talking about little stuff. And Deku just crying. He's just crying. And he's just like, damn, y'all really were some cool people. As everything whoosh to black, and then a figure appears. Just all you hear is, and I said, you did better than I anticipated. I didn't even think I could have such technology. They forgot who I really am. That's okay. You'll see more of me. You'll be the first of many. My first initial plan was a dud, but the second time would be more beneficial. He's like, wait, who are you? Don't worry about that. But just know, I'm you, and you're me, but I'm not you. Eri, let's go. I need to get my plans in order. Okay. And then Deku's like, wait, what's going on? He's like, don't worry about it. I'm truly becoming a god of not just my world, but all dimensions. And that's where we would leave part 2. So what if Deku was trained by that?